Okay, Web 2.0 is the understanding that the network is the platform, and on the network as a platform, the rules for business are different. And the cardinal rule is this one: users add value. And figuring out how to build databases that get better the more people use them is actually the secret sauce of every Web 2.0 company.
Enterprise 2.0 is the use of free-form social software platforms inside organizations. And there are a few things in that definition that are important. The first is that it's a definition about how software gets used, not how it gets developed, not whether it is software as a service or whether it's sitting on a server inside the organization. Again, these are important trends, but they're not as important for most general managers as just what is software being used for inside the organization. And I want to concentrate as well on software inside companies, not on the broad public internet. So that's one of the distinctions between Web 2.0 and Enterprise 2.0. I break the benefits down into two categories. First of all, there are concrete capabilities that you get if you successfully deploy Enterprise 2.0 technologies. And those include new modes of collaboration. Until a wiki came along, there really was not a good way for a distributed group of people to come together and collaboratively generate a document or build a web page or comment on a spec or just work together in an efficient way like that. So new modes of collaboration are definitely a capability that you get. They also give people in your organization a forum to express their judgments about things of interest. And then finally, there's this capability that I call self-organization, which is that if you deploy these technologies, your intranet suddenly starts to look a lot more like the intranet. It's very dynamic, it's easy to navigate, but it's got a constantly changing and constantly evolving structure that's not overseen by any one central authority. Now, there are direct enterprise equivalents to that. You could ask people to talk about the project, the status of their project, what they're working on these days, are they traveling, something that they learned. All of these would be very valuable inside an enterprise. So just to list a few of them, we need to make Enterprise 2.0 technologies very, very easy to use if they're going to have any chance of succeeding. And that's essentially because they're displacing an existing technology for collaboration, which is email, basically. No one's completely happy with email. It definitely has its problems, but it's used by basically 100% of knowledge workers these days. And they need to be convinced or to find reasons to walk away from doing all of their collaboration via email and move to Enterprise 2.0 platforms. There's also a huge range of cultural factors that are going to come into play here. One is what I call the culture of busyness, which is if you're not doing your assigned job all day, every day, are people going to look at you funny in the organization? Is that going to be potentially a bad thing for your human capital in your career? As opposed to if you're spending some portion of your day blogging about your opinions or blogging about what you've learned, or contributing to your equivalent of an enterprise Facebook profile, or commenting on a spec that's up on a wiki. Is that looked at as a positive thing in your company's culture and a good thing for you to be doing in your job? In particular, a lot of professional services firms, because they focus very heavily on billability, are going to have a hard time overcoming this culture of busyness and encouraging their people to spend at least part of their work week contributing to these platforms. I think it has the potential to be a substantial differentiator. If we're being honest, we have to admit that it's still early days for this trend. We don't know how easy it's going to be to deploy these technologies. We don't know how deeply they're going to penetrate organizations. We're not exactly clear on the magnitude of the benefits that we're going to get from them. I'm personally optimistic that companies who do succeed in deploying the new toolkit are going to realize substantial benefits and that they're going to get a leg up on their competition eventually. So I do think it's a potential game changer and a differentiator.